like to start off with a famous quote from April 13, 1970 by Commander Lavelle. Houston, we have a problem. And I say yes to that because to allow people to show evidence at court that your rent has been paid through rent relief and still be evicted. Houston, we have a problem when the Coalition for the Homeless is telling the mental, the disabled, and veterans that they have to go back to the streets to get housing. Houston, we have a problem if we don't stand up for Houstonians. I'm tired of pointing the finger, looking for somebody to blame. We need to work together so this doesn't happen again. As a natural disaster, I'm looking at the COVID-19 as a natural disaster rapid rehousing program that went on. These people were put in places and forgot about. Knowingly, the deed was not substantial, that the place did not keep up with their requirements as far as safety and knowledge of owner embezzlement. And to tell us and to tell them that they have to go behind 2,200 other people is not right. Right now, we have a way to fix the problem. You are our help to fix that problem. We need somebody to open up the door to the Coalition of the Homeless. It's some type of funds, some type of grants, emergency. It's something out there. Even though it was 100 of us wrongfully evicted, it's only a few of us now standing. You're telling me that Houstonians cannot help the few that need help right now. We have been wrongfully evicted, not on our accord. I stayed on property 8 years, paid my rent for 5. When rent relief came, it helped, but then it was stolen. So now I'm being evicted because federal or city funding was sent and not appropriated. It was not watched. It was just given loosely, I feel, to where the owner did what he needed to do, which was fill his pockets and leave Houstonians out in the cold. When you know that this owner or owners ran to another country where we cannot extradite him, Houston, we have a problem. I need you to look. We're all fighting for the same thing. We all come from different backgrounds, different programs, rent relief, rapid rehousing, Section 8. Please, don't forget about us. And thank you.
Thank you very much. Please. We don't allow clapping during this time. You can certainly stand, you can wave your hands, but we don't allow clapping.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Natisha Miles. Of those 4 women that our help has come in and stated, I am one of those 4 women. I went through a process in order to receive the rapid rehousing program. That initially is not what I signed up for. But in order to get off of the streets, I was told that that would be faster for me to be able to have housing that I needed. Really, I want to know, what is it going to take for Houston to hear us? Why is it made mandatory for those that are in need to help? Why is it that it is made mandatory for the people that need help to have to follow rules, abide by them, go by different criteria or whatever, and those that we're getting help from are not made to follow those same rules? I applied for the rapid rehousing program. Initially, I signed up for, thinking that I'm signing up for housing. I was placed in this organization, and right now, honestly, we're being given the runaround. We're having to go and research and do this and go through hell and high water in order to find out who it is that we need to talk to. We went and protested at the Housing Authority. Mr. Kenneth Coles, he helped us. He helped a few of us. We talked to the people at the coalition. They sent the representative out. We showed him our living situation, everything that we've been going through. Only for him to tell us that the coalition really can't do anything for us. I've gone back to get back on the waiting list to get back on housing or whatever. But basically what we're being told is in order for us to get the help that we were supposed to get in the first place, that we needed to go back and get back on the list and sign back up, and then we have to be homeless first in order to get back in a housing situation. And to me, I don't understand because, who's making these rules up? It doesn't make any sense because the whole program is set up and organized in order to get the people of Houston off of the streets. And so what sense does it make in order for us to have to be homeless once again, getting back out on the streets in order to get back in the same situation? These people, I'm not even going to say basically, this man from the coalition told us that they were made aware. They knew that the funding was being stolen. They knew that the situations and circumstances we were going through, we were living in bad situations. They knew all of these things. And so housing stopped paying. So what are we supposed to do if we're doing everything that we're supposed to be doing? I have a grandbaby now. I'm busting my tail trying to show my children that if you do the right thing, good things will follow.
Your time has expired.
But if you're teaching them that and things are not being shown that way, then what do you tell your kids whenever they go and ask for help and it's done differently?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Johnny Jara. I have been experiencing homelessness for over the past 6.5 years on account of fleeing my abuser. I'm a survivor of domestic violence. In 2021, I applied for housing at the Beacon. I was sleeping in my van, and my children were with family members. I was placed at Redford. I have been assaulted, harassed, as well as my children. My neighbor was shot at while me and my grandchild were right next door in our place. I had asked my navigator if we can be moved. I and my children feared for our lives. I was told no. It wasn't possible. I lost my housing due to the inability to look for work. I'm disabled with herniated disc. The past 1.5 years, I have been looking for housing. Spoke with the Coalition for Barrier-Free Living and was told my navigator should have transferred me over to disability housing. I have seen and met a few people who bought units from people that were in housing. These people take advantage of these programs when I'm stuck in an inhabitable and very unsafe unit with management that is very, very unprofessional. The navigators get paid to help those in need with struggles such as mental health or physical disability, etc. Single parents as myself. You who sit in those seats have the ability to stop the neglect in housing programs, case management to client, and as well as the management and neglecting repairs and taking advantage of us and getting the grants and what they're doing with the money. But for almost 2 years, here we are, being strong-armed, treated inhumanely, and at times hopeless. But no matter what, I will never give up and continue to fight to make sure and to hope and help that other families, they don't have to go through what I went through, what my children have gone through, and it's not something that you ever even think about going through. So I just want to speak out to you guys to please, if you can help, at least prevent it from happening to others, because that's what you give the grants for, to help people when other people misuse it. Here I am, still trying to get help.
Vice Mayor,
Thank you so much for your time.
Vice Mayor Pro Tem Cash-Tatum.
Thank you, Mayor. My question actually is to you, because
we have people that come with these same concerns over and over, and I wanted to know, can we make sure that we are inspecting what we are expecting? Because it's heart-wrenching to all of us when we have people come over and over with the same story that they have to be on the street before they can get help. It seems like we need to do something either with our process or really evaluate how we are offering the assistance. I know that we had some people come before. Have we had an opportunity to check and see that the people who were evicted can be housed?
We've had conversation with the Houston Housing Authority. They're mentioning the Coalition for the Homeless. I need to check back because everything is not lining up. Mm-hmm. So there's a disconnect here somewhere. So we're gonna ferret that out.
Okay.
Because we've had conversations over the last 2 weeks on this subject matter. Some of the same organizations. Yeah.
The same organizations that we offer administrative dollars to. People have told us time and time again that they are going to these organizations and not receiving the services. And I know firsthand that, I got a call from a resident that put in an application and didn't hear back from one of those companies, and we had to follow up and follow up and follow up. So I can only imagine the frustration of these folks that continue to come and ask us for help. If we can be vigilant on making sure that we follow up with these organizations, and if they aren't going to be able to provide the services, then we should not be continuing to provide them with the administrative help to fund these organizations.
Yeah, we'll continue to have a conversation because I do agree no one should have to go back to the streets to be subject to housing. We're in the process of right now of decommissioning one of our largest encampments. Right now, that's happening right now. So there's a disconnect somewhere in this, and like you all, I've been listening carefully. So we'll follow up and have those, and continue to have those conversations. But something it's not lining up. Okay, yeah. So we'll have those conversations in the next several days. I'll report back to y'all next week.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm sorry. 1 second, Councilman Evan Shabazz.
Thank you, Mayor. From the beginning of the pandemic, I think every week I was asking for a moratorium, and so I certainly understand where you all are. It's just heart-wrenching to know that you're at a point that you may become homeless. And so I know the mayor will do whatever he can. We do make referrals to agencies, as they already said, to try to help people, because I just think that you must have a stable home environment. Some of you may even have children that are in school, and how well are they able to do without a substantial roof over their heads? And so just want you all to know that we are with you. I actually had the opportunity at a funeral. I sat next to Governor Abbott's wife, and I said, could you maybe help the people that are being evicted? And, and I guess I don't know how appropriate that was at the time, but sometimes you take opportunities where you can. And then shortly thereafter, I think we were able to get a moratorium on evictions. But certainly, whatever we can do, we will certainly be there for you. And this mayor is so super sensitive to that, and he has always come forward with something to help the people. So thank you, Mayor, and thank you all for coming.
Yeah. I'll give a report to everybody next week. Thank you all very much.
Thank you so very much.
Okay.
Okay. Do I go now? Yes, okay. Good afternoon, City Council members. My name is Sarah Montgomery, and I'm here because I've had the privilege to stand alongside the tenants living at Redford and Cabo San Lucas apartments in their fight for safe and affordable housing. I have gotten to know Natisha, a brilliant organizer and loving grandmother who knows precisely how to care for her grandchild whenever he feels ill. I've had the honor of organizing with Johnny, a funny and brave mother of her equally funny and brave 13-year-old daughter, Julie. I've worked alongside Majesta, a strong mother of two whose 8-year-old son, Sheldon, bravely looked after his young sister during eviction court just last month. And finally, Miss Lorraine, a powerhouse, a force, a relentless advocate for herself and for her neighbors, who is here with her son Julian standing with us today. Earlier this year, these four amazing women, their families, and hundreds of their neighbors faced violent eviction following the foreclosure of these two apartment complexes. However, these four tenants, like many others, have been suffering long before these evictions due to the activities of the COVID-19 Rapid Rehousing Program and other housing programs coordinated through the Way Home Housing Network. This network has been praised across the country, hailed as a model of success when it comes to housing the homeless. But tenants from Cabo and Redford, housing organizers like myself, and many others on these programs know that this is only a story. These tenants know what it is like to be sexually assaulted in their home by apartment staff. They have experienced gun violence. They live in uninhabitable conditions, only to be ignored by caseworkers when they requested to relocate for their own safety. That does not sound like a successful housing program to me. Even after meeting with representatives of the Houston Housing Authority and Coalition for the Homeless, these tenants are still facing homelessness. They've been told that there is nothing these programs can do for them until these families are living on the street. As we speak, Majesta, Natisha, Lorraine, and Johnny anticipate the moment when constables come knocking at their door to remove them and their belongings. What kind of housing program waits to help the most vulnerable of our communities? Mothers, children, toddlers, the elderly, and the disabled, until they are pushed to the brink of death by living on the streets in the winter. Again, that does not sound like a successful housing program to me. These tenants have done nothing to deserve the circumstances they are now facing. There is nothing that justifies promising someone housing and then housing them in the worst conditions imaginable. There is nothing these women did to deserve facing imminent homelessness after relying on a program to prevent them from just that, nothing other than be poor in today's outrageously unaffordable housing market. It has been an honor and a tragedy to watch them fight so hard and for so long just to be heard. They deserve to be heard. These families, their quality of life, and their right to be housed matters. I hope that you listen to their stories today and that this compels you to do something, anything, to keep these families off the street. Thank you for your time. We also have packets of a letter to the council members and evidence of their housing conditions.
Thank you. If you'll pass that on to Renee. Thank you very much.